And James Creedon is here with us in the studio. And James, you've been looking at some of the tributes that have been pouring in, haven't you? And of course, this has been in the world's press as well.
That's right. Headlines everywhere. I'll just take a look at some of the world's media. El País in Spain, speaking about how he was the last giant of chanson française. That's their headline. The Guardian referred to him, as many others did as well, as the Frank Sinatra of France. Indeed, they were in some ways contemporaries and collaborated, I believe.
And others have pointed out that he wrote his own songs,
that's
unlike Mr. Sinatra.
That's right. I have a headline in a second about that, and it is just mind-boggling the amount of songs he wrote. Charles Aznavour, l'Américain, Le Point calls him. So very much, I suppose, the American influence there, but he wrote his own stuff, and it was in French, but I suppose the style might have been influenced by... so the Élysée is hoping to have... basically, the summit for the French-speaking world, or the francophonie, is taking place in Armenia in 10 days' time. He was meant to be there. He was due to be there.
Of course.
And
he would have been the guest of honour.
That's right, but there will now be a homage, basically, for him at when that summit takes place, according to the Élysée Palace. This is in the German media. 1,000 songs in 8 years, and they're only the songs that he wrote or co-wrote, which is actually a song a month. Which is kind of unbelievable degree of productivity. And apparently it was 1,400 songs he recorded. So the guy was just...
They were just pouring out of him.
House, yeah. Unbelievable. And most of them, or a lot of them, really, really great as well. This is really bizarre, right, in terms of reflecting his longevity. This is the obituary in the New York Times. And one of our colleagues upstairs who was looking for interviewees on the Charles Aznavour story thought that the obituary writer might be somebody who was worth talking to, but the obituary writer, Mr. Prial, passed away in 2012. Oh. So the obituary, as is often the case with obituaries,
outliving your own obituary writer. Wow, that is
so that'll tell you how long he's been going for. And this was another sort of odd headline that on it today from the Belgian media, because there was due to be a concert there next week. Death of Charles Aznavour. His concert has been cancelled, and I think they modified that afterwards because people were saying obviously. Although I suppose nowadays you have holograms and all sorts of stuff, but yes, unfortunately, lots of disappointed concert goers. But the headline,
really
probably needed a bit of tweaking.
And we've all been looking at his songs today, haven't we? And having a listen. There's been a lot of singing in the newsroom from my French colleagues, because they all know these songs off by heart. But his best English language one was probably She, wasn't it?
Which was in
which was the soundtrack to a rather.
What's it called again? Notting Hill. It was in Notting Hill. Yes. There you go. But so that one is I think very well known in the English-speaking world.
But the French ones are much better, has to be said.
And so many of them, like, and he was pretty groundbreaking. Just I'm not sure if we'll have sound on this, but just take a look at one of these. People have been sharing these on social media. Comme ils disent, and Comme ils disent was.
Can we hear that?
It was a taboo-breaking song, right? Because it was about a cross-dresser and a homosexual, and it was written back in 1972. Someone who was still living with his mother, and it paints a somewhat tragic picture of a guy who I suppose has to kind of live his life privately and whatnot, but has a double life at night. And he really entered into that role when he would sing it on stage, and it's a song that a lot of people cite as one of their favourites of Charles Aznavour. Then I suppose one of the most best known is La Bohème. And look at this, right? This is from 1960.
Everyone will know this.
This is from 1965, right? And you have other performances of it. I'm not sure if we'll have time to listen to all of them, but we will play an extract in a sec. From 1991, like almost 30 years later, and there's extracts of him singing it in 2004. He was singing this song for decades. And
go on, let's have a listen then.
And, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll listen to him singing it in 5 different languages.
Ah, wow.
La Bohème. Let's take a listen.
Tant que les moins de 20 ans ne peuvent pas connaître, en donde non desvan. Con traje de cancán posabas para mí, y yo con devoción pintaba con pasión tu cuerpo fatigado. We laughed at common men, for we were heroes then, and heaven smiled above. La Bohème, das heißt la vie, mal so, mal so. La Bohème, bei Trockenbrot verliebt und froh. E nei caffè vicini eravamo qualcuno che aspettava la gloria dei poveri.
Wow, what a talent.
And apparently he sang it in 7 or 8 songs, languages rather. That was only 5. So, you know, the guy was unbelievable.
Really. And that's why he had so many big fans.
Yes. And
presidents, popes, kings, queens.
They've been paying tributes. So much to say on this. I suppose
basketball players.
The political tributes I'll move past because we know that's a statue of him in the army. This is LeBron James, right, who put up on his Instagram recently the fact that he was waking up listening to Charles Aznavour. I'm not sure if we're going to have the sound, but just trust me on this, right? This is LeBron James' Instagram. And that was his wake-up call. You then had Aznavour sending...
That's a nice, gentle way to wake up, isn't it?
It's lovely. And he sent a message back to him. So, like, he was connecting with people like LeBron James. He started off with Edith Piaf, writing songs for her. And I'll just finish with this cartoon, because basically this is actually a reference to one of his songs on Eau de la Fiche. And they're putting him right at the top, above France Gall, above even Johnny Hallyday, who was, like, you know, huge in France. But Aznavour was really, truly an international star, I think, more than any of the others.
All right. He'll be missed by a lot of people, won't he?
He certainly will.
James, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Laura.
James Creedon there.